guys, Jeff, and welcome to today's video. So today we are doing a brake install on the Rad Rover. So I mentioned in my previous video I was going to be installing some fully hydraulic SRAM Guide Rs, and I'm happy to report that I've been able to procure from my local bike shop these very nice SRAM 4-piston Guide Ts, all mounted. So the installation is going to be pretty straightforward on those. Also, what we're going to be doing today, this is my broken caliper, my broken X-Tack. Inside of this caliper are brake pads that have a few hundred kilometers on them. And what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be taking these pads out of this broken caliper. We're going to take the non-broken caliper that's currently in the front of the bike, put the brand new pads on it, put it on the back. One thing that I'm not too sure about yet, well, we're going to have to figure that out as we go regarding the brake kill switch situation. So there's a kill switch in the brakes that cuts off the motor when you use the brakes. Obviously these don't have that. I wasn't able to really source what I needed, so we're gonna forego that. All right, so first step, remove caliper up front. Alright, so this is the front, or formerly front caliper. I'll keep these bolts and bracket to the side for now because I'm gonna need to reuse them later. These pads are pretty worn out, so. Got the new pads in place. I'm just going to use the safety pin, push that in there. So we essentially got the bottom shoe part here, and there's this hole there that the pin goes through to lock them in place. Then you just have to bend the pin so it can't go out, and we're going to go install this new old caliper in the back. Before we do that, we're going to use this opportunity to give the rotor a little cleaning with some alcohol. The older Rover, the brake was actually in the back here, so it was much easier to access the bolts. Nowadays, though, you just kind of have to make do with this shitty design. Looks about right. I did have a bit of a clearance issue here between that and that. Seem to have figured that out now. Gonna go get the battery inside. Make sure the motor still works even though the sensor now is just loose. Looks like we got a giant bumblebee up there. Get the fuck out. Let's go give that a try outside. Yeah, I've greased that up. It's a lot easier like that. Alright, and that is done. Put the front caliper, mechanically actuated hydraulic brake, changed the pads, put in the rear. I removed all of that. Installed the SRAM Guide T, fully hydraulic 4-piston caliper down here. That brakes like crazy. I'm gonna go for it right now, and I will let you know once I get back just how great I think it is. So I've ridden the bike about 50 kilometers over the last couple of days. I wanted to make sure that I had a good experience with it before I would give you my final thoughts on it. And to be honest, this brake is a complete game changer. I never imagined that it would make such a huge difference. Not only is it braking a whole lot more, which was to be expected, right? It's hydraulic, it's 4 pistons, so it had to be better than what I had there before. But what really caught me by surprise is just how smooth the braking is. So on the mechanically actuated brakes and on the mechanical brakes even more so, you have to press the handle quite hard. And if you're going down a hill for a long time, it can actually give you cramps in your hands. But with the hydraulic brakes, it's just so smooth. You just give it, you know, the 1 finger or 2 finger treatment and it brakes just that much. It's insane. To be honest, the first time I rode it, I almost crashed it. I was used to giving it a lot of pressure and I went full down because that's what I was used to doing with my other brake. But yeah, I locked the front wheel, but since I'm pretty heavy, the bike couldn't flip over, so it sort of broke and started tipping to the side. But anyway, yeah, that's just amazing. And now the brakes are starting to settle in. Like I said, they've got about 50 kilometers ridden over a couple of days, and I'm just really happy about this. Honestly, the day after I installed that one, I went back to the bike shop and tried to purchase a set for the rear. Ideally a 2 piston because I don't want to put as much money in the rear. Rear doesn't need to be as powerful, so 4 pistons to me in the rear wasn't necessary. Just the way it is right now, I can stop the bike in an emergency situation with just the front brake, so rear is just more of a safety and a way to more evenly distribute my braking. And unfortunately, everything's sold out, so for now it's going to stay the way it is. Hopefully sometime soon I'm going to be able to procure a 2-piston SRAM kit for the rear and install that. Right now, since I'm also running this sort of hybrid with a Tektro handle, the X-Tech zoom brake in the rear, and the full SRAM kit in the front, I'm still able to use the kill switch from the Tektro brake handle that came with the bike, and it also gives me the brake light. The brake light is something that I didn't think of when I installed the front one, but that's going to be a bit of a hassle because I really want to keep that brake light. I think it's practical, especially when you ride at night or at dusk like I often do. And so I'm thinking for the next set, I'm going to try to procure the kill switch as well ahead of time. I don't know where I'm going to get that. So if any of you guys have any ideas where I could procure the kill switch that could also activate the rear, let me know. I tried to reach out to Bolton Bikes, but he hasn't gotten back to me. I guess he must be pretty busy these days. Do I still recommend the X-Techs? I mean, sure, if you only got like 40-50 bucks to put on it and you want something a little better than the Tektros, definitely go for the X-Tech. They are a slight upgrade, as I mentioned. For 40 bucks, I mean, you get what you pay for, and even though you know they're not really gonna last and they're not as great as full hydraulics, they're still a little better than a Tektro. So yeah, definitely. But if you got a bit more money or you can wait a little and save up, definitely go full hydro. You won't regret it. It's not that much more expensive. The front brake that I have right now, I paid, I believe, 125 bucks for it. So it really wasn't all that expensive. When I started, I thought it would be a whole lot more expensive than that, and to be honest, I could get a full set for like 300 bucks. And there are other options out there if you don't want to go with the big brands. You can Joint Tech makes some. I think you can buy around $100 for the pair. Yeah, definitely consider full hydraulics. If you can get 4 pistons, that's even better. I got the 4 piston in the front and it just brakes like crazy. You wouldn't believe it. So anyways, guys, that's been it for me. Next week, probably not going to do a Rover video again because it's been a couple Rover videos in a row and I want to make sure I get back into the music content. I do have something else planned for you. I'm going to leave a little clip at the end of what that's going to be. And with that said, guys, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And I will catch you Sunday for my next music video. All right, peace, guys.